Hi everyone! I'm going to show you the backyard garden now, which includes around the pool and the vegetable garden and some new woodland garden areas that we are working on. And here is a little patch of garden we have next to the pool. I've got this Emmett's pumpkin Japanese maple, which has leafed out beautifully this year. It's looking fabulous, with some woodland phlox at the base of it, which is just looking beautiful right now. It's at peak bloom. I just love this stuff. I can't wait to put a big drift of it out in the woodland area. I've got some endless summer hydrangeas here that are leafing out nicely. And this is a bonfire Japanese maple. I love the colors. The red slowly turns to green, and it's just looking beautiful. My husband has laid mulch in this area, so it's really looking nice and clean right now. In the spots where he hasn't laid mulch, it looks like a beautiful mess, so just keep that in mind. You want to see how awesome mulch can make your garden look. Here's a really good example. Looking at it over here, looks like a complete disaster. And then with mulch, it just helps the plants stand out a lot better. These are my limelight hydrangeas, which are really big this year. They've really taken off. They love the spot they're in. And I'm actually planning to put some little spotlights on them to kind of highlight them at night so you can see them at night because they're so pretty. But I'll probably end up using some solar lights so we don't have to run a bunch of cords or anything like that. Oops, it's starting to sprinkle a little bit out here. Hopefully I can get this done before it starts to rain. But look how big that leaf is on that Emmett's pumpkin. You can see my hand. I don't have a huge hand by any means, but that's pretty impressive. I love it. So beautiful. Over here, we just planted this new Japanese maple. It's a coral bark maple. And the Japanese name is Sango Kaku. I think that's how you say it. And it's just, I love the form of how it branches out at the top. It just is a really perfect tree to go right here. And I've got it a good distance away from the house. And most of the branches are, heading away from the house, but, eventually we may have to prune it so it doesn't encroach on the house. But I think it's a really good tree for this spot. We actually found it at Costco for $50. So, you cannot beat the price on a tree that size. That was a great deal. This Japanese maple is called Green Waterfall, I believe. Or Waterfall. Or no, Green Cascade, maybe. I can't remember if it's Waterfall or Green Cascade. It's one of those. But I love the ferny foliage, and I'm going to have to move this one in the fall because it keeps coming out into the pathway, and I do not want to keep cutting it unnecessarily. And now that we're finally working on the woodland garden, I can definitely find a place for it back there. Whereas last year we weren't even thinking about touching that area yet. So everything is looking good around here, starting to leaf out. And I've got all my pots. I got my hanging baskets I'm working on right now, which I'm probably gonna have to bring those undercover so they don't get destroyed. And the pool's all nice and clean right now. We've had all the tree pollen. Woo-wee, that's been fun, trying to keep the pool clean. But here's my little containers with some pretty annuals in them. I love geraniums. It's one of my favorites. And here's some super bells. I I am a big fan of many proven winners plants thanks to Laura from Garden Answer. I watch her pretty much every day, every time a video comes out. I've watched it. So thank you, Laura, for inspiring everyone to be better gardeners and to plant beautiful things. And I'm one of your biggest fans. You're the best. So this is a blue agapanthus, and I think it's called Amethyst Princess. Here's my little garden walkway next to the pool, which I absolutely adore. I've got salvia here. I've got David phlox that's coming up. Right here is a Crown Princess Margarita rose. See if I can show you some buds that are on it. Got quite a few. I cannot wait to see this one bloom. It's gonna be so pretty. A couple more weeks though. This big old mess right here is a rambling rose, and I think it's called Felicity a Perpetueux. I don't speak French very well, but that's the French name. And I've got 2 or 3 planted back behind the arbor, so they'll grow through the arbor or through the pergola, and it's doing great. It's got some blooms on it this year. Last year it didn't have any blooms. It was all just cane growth. So I'm excited to see this one bloom. It's gonna look really romantic and pretty. This one is a Cornish rose, and I can't remember the name of it. It's a white rose, but I cannot think of it off the top of my head. Honeymoon, that's what it is. Honeymoon rose. Another great climber. It's been very slow to take off for me though, compared to Crown Princess. And this big rose right here that has grown all the way up to the top is Gertrude Jekyll, who's got some nice blooms on it. I am so excited this year, guys. We planted so many roses last year, and a lot of them, you know, didn't bloom very well last year because it's the first year in the ground. They just don't do very well. So this is like really the year that we'll really get to enjoy a lot of blooms. This rose right here is called Kiss Me Kate. It's a Cornish rose. It's got lots of buds on it. My standard roses here in these pots are called eglantine, and those are David Austin roses. I've got one here and then one over here. Let's see here. And then I've got some roses over here that are just covered in blooms, or buds I should say. They're not quite blooming yet. This is called Zade. Another great rose by Cordis that I bought from palatineroses.com. I've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back here. And look how awesome it's gonna look with the fountain when they're all in bloom. It's gonna look really graceful and beautiful in this little pocket corner of the garden. Right here, I just planted this up yesterday actually. This is some Peachy Keen Verbena by Proven Winners. And in the center, I've got a clematis vine called Arabella. And I got that from Brushwood Nursery, which has, golly, they've got some great stuff online. I absolutely love the clematis from Brushwood. And honestly, I don't think I'll buy from anybody else because I love, like, they just have really good plants. They're big and really healthy. This is a variegated pink lemon. And I got this over the winter time at my local nursery. and I was just so excited to find it. I've always wanted one, and I just happened to come across it one day and I snatched it up. So it's blooming right now. This one is a beautiful hybrid tea rose called Sweet Mademoiselle. I absolutely love the blooms. They are huge and they look like old-fashioned roses, but they're massive hybrid tea but like blooms. It's just incredible, and the scent is phenomenal. I suggest if you ever get a chance to get a Sweet Mademoiselle that you do it, because you will not be disappointed. This is a key lime tree, which is still got some on there, but lots of new blooms are forming on this. And the fragrance is just awesome. I love citrus blooms and the scent they give off, guys. It just makes you so happy. This one is Washington orange, and it is loaded down with little teeny tiny buds, or budding oranges, I should say. They're just all over the place. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? I got one orange off this tree last year, just one. And I got it last year, so that makes sense. That's fine. But I'm just like amazed how just a little food, just a little fertilization, and it's completely covered. Like, I mean, there's no way it can support this much fruit. It's obviously gonna fall off. A lot of these little oranges are gonna end up falling off, but I'm just like completely amazed at how much it's blooming. This is an apple blossom, rose apple blossom geranium, which I've had in this pot for like 3 years now. I think this is the 3rd year, and it does great. It's just trucking away. I might probably need to prune it a little bit, get some new growth going on it, but it's one of my absolute favorite geraniums. This is a sweet kumquat. It's not really looking very good right now. I can't figure out what is going on because I've fertilized it, but it's just not looking the greatest. Maybe I need to fertilize it again, but I know these bloom later in the season because I harvested this later, so I'm just going to be patient with it. And here's my Meyer lemon, which is covered in blooms and buds. Oh, and then where's oh, here it is. I was wondering where this one was. This is my Mexican lime. It's my biggest one. And it's covered with blossoms and small fruit too. So it's exciting times. Lots to look forward to. Are you having fun, baby? Why don't you show YouTube what you got for Easter? Play-Doh, huh?
I got a sensory kit.
A sensory kit?
With gems.
That's cool.
And I got little mini things and a home. And I got this thing and some trays and some glitter foam paper. And I have a bunch of other stuff down here, like glitter balls.
Yeah?
And pipe cleaners and a bunch of different other stuff that helps me with my disorder.
Yeah? You love it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you have fun, okay? I'm going to go out in the vegetable garden and show them the vegetable garden.
Okay, can I come with you?
Sure. Now down back here is the vegetable garden. Okay. The azaleas are looking amazing with the heuchera. And then I've also got some peonies about to bloom right here. Look at that big old thing. Isn't that great? Oh, focus. It doesn't want to focus. Well, you get the gist. It's a big one. So here's the vegetable garden. All my seedlings are coming up great. I'm super excited about them. I planted some cucumbers here, and I've got some basil plants, and then over here that are just starting to come up, I've got carrot seeds and beet. I planted some beet seeds, and then I planted some nasturtiums intermingled in them, I think, which are just starting to come up. Here's a raspberry bush, which I'm going to bring that in so it doesn't get destroyed. We got strawberries. 9:30 is okay. 9:30. Okay. You get 1 hour, okay? Trying to control screen time during the quarantine is just unreal. Oh, tired of being police, the screen police. It's exhausting. Those of you who have kids know exactly what I'm talking about. So my kids are 7 and 9, so it's been a daily battle to try and control their time on the screens. It's a different world these days, different how we were raised for sure, but we gotta adapt and adjust. Anyway, here's some more cucumbers, and then I've also got some bush beans that are really starting to come up nice. I believe these are Blue Lake green beans. And then I've got some little dill sprouting and cilantro seeds that I spread out as well. And this bed is more of like a flower bed, actually. Except I did plant some peas up to go along the trellis. But I want to get a cute little garden sign that says Sunflower House, because it's always been a dream of mine to create a sunflower house. And so I've got it started with these Sunfinity. These are called Sunfinity sunflowers. I do have an order from Proven Winners coming in where I can put 2 Suncredibles on each side here. So you will literally be surrounded by sunflowers. So you can walk in and feel like you're in a sunflower house. Well, I also have planted some sunflower seeds. The ones that are planted here in the back, they're going to get a little bit taller. I think I planted the 5 to 6 foot sunflowers back there. And then in the front, I planted like the shorter versions, the ones that stay really short. And then I think I put some zinnia seeds in here as well. So that way it's just a beautiful sunflower house. You walk in and you're surrounded by flowers. And I really wanted to make this for my daughter and my son to be able to enjoy beautiful flowers, and I want to enjoy it too, you know? So, because if you love flowers, this is definitely something fun to try. So, and I actually got this idea from a book called Roots, Boots, Buckets, and Shoots by Sharon Lovejoy. Love that book. It's so cute. It has so many great ideas in it to get your kids out in nature and get them out in the garden. So I really, really love that book. It's one of my favorites. And so I've tried to incorporate some of those ideas into my garden. Here I've got a bunch of cinnamon basil, and then we've got some radish seeds coming up nicely. And then I've got spinach interplanted in here as well. And then by the trellis, I've got more cucumbers, like a Japanese variety. And then I've got one that's called Dragon's Egg that I got from Baker Creek heirloom seeds. In this bed, I've got Mr. Stripey tomatoes. I've got Brandywine Red and Beefmaster. I've got another tomato coming from Proven Winners called Good Hearted. I think it stays a little bit smaller. I might keep that one in a pot. But, so those are my tomatoes. We don't eat like a ton of tomatoes in our house, so I'm not one of those people like I need to have a garden bed full of tomatoes. Like having 7 plants is more than what we need. Here I've got, what is this called again? I can't remember. feverfew. That's what this is. This is feverfew that I grew from seed. And then what did I plant in here? Lettuce. I planted lettuce seeds. That's what those little seedlings are. It was like a lettuce mix, I think. I can't remember. I have got so many seeds, like I can't even keep up with it, y'all. It's crazy. But all along here, I've got roses lining the back of the pool deck all over the place. Roses, roses everywhere. It's quite ridiculous in a good way though. And then I got peonies lined all the way down here along the boxwoods. And then behind the peonies, I've got blueberry bushes. They're very small right now, but in time they will get bigger. So I just gotta be patient. Because I love all aspects of gardening. I love fruit and vegetable gardening, and I absolutely love, love, love flower gardening. So I really wanted to incorporate all those things that I love together. I'm not like the greatest designer, but I tried my best when we kind of mapped this out, and I think we did a really good job with what we had. You know, we don't have a ton of money to spend on gardening. I don't have money to go out and hire some fancy designer to make it all perfect. And you know, we've enjoyed just creating this ourselves, you know, and I think that's one of the joys of gardening, is just creating what you love and how you want to make it happen. This is a peony bloom. I believe it's called my Petite Chérie. I think the blooms are a little bit smaller than like your typical peony with the big massive marshmallow heads. It's looking really pretty right now, so I just wanted to show you that. And over here we started up our very own little pumpkin patch. This is where I've got my pumpkins, my corn, and my watermelon. And I actually put some zinnia seeds in here too. I wanted to see how they do. But we did pumpkin, like the French pumpkin that looks like the Cinderella type pumpkins, which I absolutely love. And man, there's stuff all over this thing. It got messy. Yeah, there was this stuff that was all over the pool. It was absolutely maddening to clean up every day. So this is like the bigger crops over here that I wanted to give a try. I've got pumpkins, zinnias, sunflowers, the ones that get really big, corn, and watermelon. So we're gonna give that a shot, see how it does. Oh, I see an iris blooming over here. Oh, it looks kind of beat up right now. Oh, bummer. You got more coming though. I think it's called Pink Princess or something like that. My autumn ferns are just taking off. They are doing great. And the rambling rose here is just covered in buds too. I wish I could remember what rose this is, but I do not remember. I know it's an old rose. I just can't remember which one it is. I've planted so many that it's hard to keep up, you know, unless I mark them. I do know that this one in the corner is Lady of the Lake, another David Austin, and it's got some pretty blooms on it right now. Excuse me, not blooms, buds. I keep saying blooms, I mean buds. See? There you go. Once all these roses bloom out, here's some Annabelle hydrangeas as well. They're doing pretty nice. Once all these roses bloom out, I'm definitely gonna do another tour so you guys can see it all, because I definitely want to take a video of that. It's like the best time of the year in the spring when everything is all in bloom. and looking beautiful. Oh, I think I see some blooms over here. Yeah, there's a couple starting to pop through. That rose is Climbing Pinky. That's what it is. All right, so here's for the new stuff that we've been working on. We recently planted some new trees, fruit trees from Trees of Antiquity. This one is called Noir de Chavannes cherry. And then I've got a black Tartarian cherry. Which one is this? I still have the labels. This one's Red Winter Pearmain apple. And this one's a Swiss variety. It's called Glocken Apfel. And it's an apple tree. And then I've got 2 other apple trees right here. All that is to lead us to this new pathway we're in the process of forming. And this is gonna be our woodland garden. It's a big old mess right now, but we're gonna clean it all out and eventually start to put woodland garden plants in here. Right now it's a lot of vines and stuff that just grows like crazy. I've got some blackberries in here that I just planted. And I had several Japanese maples in pots that I went ahead and put them out in the garden. There's one right there. That one's called Purple Ghost. And if you walk down this path, this one's called Germain's Gyration, another Japanese maple. And then the pathway leads to the trampoline. Haha. What everybody wants in their garden, right? Well, the kids have to have a play space too. So we got them a trampoline for Christmas. One day when they're older, obviously this will go away and I can do something fun with it. But this area is all new as well. I lined this whole bed here with logs and I brought my pretty bench out here. We've got 2 magnolia bushes out here, or magnolia trees out here, and then I planted out all of my Japanese maples in pots. But here it is. It's starting to rain now, so I'm gonna go. I'll make another video showing you exactly which Japanese maples I've got in here at another time. All right, y'all, take care. Hope you enjoyed this tour, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.